Welcome to Absolutely Abundant, a podcast for soul line creatives. This is episode 38, Healing Codependency in Relationships. I'm your host, Julie Goetzinger, and this show is dedicated to help people to trust themselves more, to follow their intuition to their path of their greatest purpose and prosperity. And today I'm going to be talking about codependency. It's one of those words that people usually think of in terms of addiction. You think of like codependent relationships as like when somebody is in love with an addict, it can become codependent, or if somebody's in that relationship with a narcissist, it can become this codependence going on. And I just received a lot of clarity about it today. I was talking to my therapist about what exactly it is and how we heal this. I was a child of an addict, and I am the child of an addict. It's always a part of you. I don't mean to smile about it, but it's something that I'm at peace with now. And my dad is knows that I'm talking about him right now. He's on the other side. And he taught me so much in my life. He was definitely one of my greatest teachers and guides. And he took a tall order by choosing mental illness. I do believe that it's something that we come into, not consciously choosing, obviously, but it's a soul agreement, I believe, that we have. My dad took on the role of someone who's bipolar, someone who's addicted, someone who battled with a lot internally. And he also was incredibly charismatic, intelligent, talented, smart, athletic. Like, I feel like his energy knowing that I'm saying all these things. But I actually started studying mediumship 2 years before my dad passed to the other side. And I told him intuitively that I would reconnect with him after he was departed and with God, because I knew that he was not currently with God, did not choose God, and I could not be around him safely. And so I didn't see him the last 10 years of my life. And a lot has resurfaced for me recently because I am now working in the wedding industry. I'm working with a wedding videography and photography company, and working with couples who are newly in love. And I'm thinking about how I can support them more on their journey as far as dealing with the stress that comes with wedding planning, and also the family conflicts. And, most people don't have two happy, healthy parents. I would say that, and I hope that's not true, but in my experience, I feel like most people have some kind of conflict in their families. Even maybe it's not their parents, but it could be an uncle or a brother or sister, somebody who causes a lot of stress and maybe worry around the wedding planning process or the wedding day itself. And that's kind of the work I'm getting into now. Not kind of, I am. And it's just brought that back for me, that remembering that fear that I had around someone who was addicted, and the triggers that I have felt myself being around with people who also are addicted and who haven't, chosen God, chosen recovery. And my therapist illuminated for me today something very important. And first of all, he explained what codependency is. I feel like I had resistance around even the word itself, and just like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I'm not an addict, so why do I need to know, kind of thing, right? And he explained it as the codependent relationship is one where one person overcompensates for the lack that the other person gives. So in a love relationship, this can look like one person making all the effort, making all the plans, maybe even in bed, like doing more of the effort. It's like one person overgiving because they have to overcompensate for what the other person is not bringing to the table. And I am the one that has done this in the past. I have been the one to overgive in love relationships. And it ends up making me feel resentful of my partner. It makes me feel angry. It makes me feel like, why do I put up with this? And my therapist explained to me it's because the addict has a void within themselves, and they fill the void with their drug of choice. And that could be anything. It could be sex, drugs, alcohol, workaholism, whatever the addict is using to fill that void within themselves. And since they're using their energy to that direction, they can't give it to you, their partner. They just can't. They don't have it. They're feeding their addiction. They're feeding their drug, and they don't have it to give to you. I used to think it was that they weren't choosing me. They didn't love me enough. They didn't care enough about me, and that's why they weren't making the effort. And that's not it at all. It's that they didn't have it to give. And by me choosing to be in relationships with people like this again and again, it was desperately trying to heal that piece of like, why won't you choose me? And it comes back to in childhood, like my father feeling like he chose drugs over our family and over his business and over everything else. In the end, it felt like he chose that. And what it really was that he was filling a void within his soul. And as much as I told him about God and faith and, asking for healing, asking for forgiveness, I don't really think he did until he got to the other side, because I couldn't be around him physically. I didn't feel safe to be. And my therapist explained today that it's about like when people go to places like AA, they teach that you fill the void with God. You don't fill the void with another person or another addiction. You fill the void with God. And until a soul gets to that place of absolute surrender, like nothing is working here, like I've destroyed everything, like everything has just been burned down and there's such wreckage that it's just like, what has even happened to my life? That it often takes that to happen to people, which is what they refer to as rock bottom, to get to that place of absolute surrender. And like, I give up. Like, I don't know what else I can do here. And I'm getting emotional because I can feel the energy around this. And I want to speak for, not for the addicts, because I'm not one and I can't possibly know what it's like to be an addict because I was spared that. I didn't choose that in this life. But I want to bring some perspective to show that it's not that they're bad people and that they're not choosing you. If you're in love with an addict or your parent or your child or whoever in your family, your partner is an addict, it's not that they're not choosing you. It's not that they don't love you enough. It's that they feel a void within themselves that they have not yet found God to fill. And when my therapist explained this to me today, it was such a relief because I felt like for so long I'd been looking for someone to fill me. And he explained that codependents also have a void within their soul that they're looking to fill with a love relationship. They could also be looking to fill it with money or all different kinds of things because they feel that void within themselves. So when he said that, it made me realize that, okay, if I too have that void and I'm looking to a man, a partner to fill that for me, how can I fill that more myself? And the answer was so simple. It's like, turn to God. Nothing can fill that void. Your business can't fill that void. Your clients can't fill that void. Your children can't fill that void. Your pets can't fill that void. God fills the void. And God acts through your people that like he can send angels to you that obviously embody the energy of God and our God, because we all are. But it's a conscious choice to choose that. And when you get to the depths of it, when you are, when you have your last dollar, when you are at your wit's end and dating, when you don't know where else to turn and there's no choice but surrender, that's when the light comes in. It's like the heart cracks open and the light can come in. God can come in when you just say, I don't know. I'm this human down here and I know that I have God in me and running through me, but I don't fully realize that in this moment. Please show me, please help me feel that connection. And I just say out loud, surround me in God's love and light. Like it works every time. And this is what I teach my my students is like, to surround yourself with a cleansing energy, like using sage or Palo Santo. And I circle it around my head 3 times. And I say, surround me in God's love and light, surround me in God's love and light, surround me in God's love and light. And just saying that, I feel the energy of that and it comes through. And the other thing I realized was Okay, so I wasn't finding fulfillment in my love relationships. Like I wasn't getting that void filled, even though I tried so many times. So then I turned that energy towards my business and I started to do the same thing over there. I started to overgive and then I started to get resentful because I was overgiving. And that's what codependency is. It's giving so much, sacrificing your own energy, your own well being to fill the void. And it's the same thing. And then we're in that energy, we attract others who are there just to take from us and who have no intention of giving back anything. And it's because we're in that codependent dynamic. And it's when you're in that energy of like, I'm just going to give, you're going to attract people that are going to take. And, so it's about healing that within yourself. What's this really about? Why am I overgiving? Why am I giving everything away for free? Why am I not letting others pour into me and give to me? What is that about? And it's the void. It's filling the void. It's trying to fill the void with money, with business, with busyness. A lot of people even like they think they're busier than they actually are. And when you look at what's actually generating results and what's not, there's a lot we can stop doing. If you have your own business, there's like a million tasks you could do every single day and it feels like you're never done. But what if you took an assessment of everything you've been doing and like looked, is this even working? Like, what of this do I even want to do? Not just is it working, but is this fun? Do I want to do this? Like for me, what I want to be doing the most is my podcast. And I want to be speaking in public. I want to speak in groups. I'm leading group therapy sessions at a creative space in Leesburg, Virginia. And I'm so freaking excited about this. It's a complete volunteer position, but I felt such a draw to work with these creative women. And I'm like, this is going to prime us for our retreat. This is going to be so much fun because I am hosting my retreat there as well. And it's just getting into energy of like, okay, what does everybody need? Where's everybody at? Like what's going on in the collective right now that needs to be addressed? And how can I continue doing my own healing work so I can be that strong leader for others? And that's when I realized like, oh, it's helping people to heal those codependent relationships. So when I say, let's look at your relationship with money, with love, with time, it's like, how are you showing up to it? Are you in that place of being like the martyr, like give, I'm going to work all hours of the day, or in your love relationships, like feeling resentful because you're the only one making any effort. And it's like, okay, like enough of this. How can we release this? How can we let this go? And how can we do this in a space that is not so isolating, that we feel like we're alone? We feel like something's wrong with us. Because I know I got to that place of thinking something was really wrong for me, with me, because of the people I was choosing to date. I was like, what's wrong with me that thinks, what part of me thinks that any of this is okay? Why am I tolerating any of this? And then I realized, oh, my tolerance is higher because of what I've already been exposed to. It's just like pain tolerance. If you've been through childbirth, if you've been through like physically painful things, your pain tolerance goes up. Same thing with emotions, like emotional tolerance. If you've been through really tough emotions, if you've been really down before, your tolerance for being down is higher and you're more able to stick it out, as they say. But is that a good thing? Or is it a like, no, this doesn't work for me anymore. I'm going to spend time on myself to really look at this. So I stop attracting this kind of relationship. So I stop feeling like the martyr in my business. So I stop attracting the takers. It's getting to that place of enough of this. And I'm ready to do it with others who have been there before, who are there now, who are ready to do the work together. And that's exactly what I'm called to teach, what I'm called to do at my retreat. And it's coming together with women who also have these kinds of things. And the way this translates in business is like overworking, overgiving, like wanting to just do things for people and never being open to receiving money for it. Maybe not never, but like, oh no, you don't have to pay me for that. Or I'll just give this to you. I'll just throw this into, I'll just do it. That is like, it's for fear of loss of love, fear for loss of business. But it comes from the void within, from within. If you are somebody who has been in a bunch of, relationships that you're just like, what is this pattern? Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep attracting this? Why does this keep happening to me? that's for you too. Like this retreat is for you too. We're looking at our relationship with money, with love, with our business, and with our time. Are you saying there's never enough time? Like, are you doing things that are pointless for you to do, that aren't generating any results, that you don't like doing? Let's let go of those things. So that's something else we're going to be addressing at the retreat. So that's what I wanted to share today, is just to help you to see maybe if any of this is resonating for you, and realizing that nothing is happening to you. All of this is happening for you to help you see what no longer is a match for you. And then getting to that place of like, this is what I'm available for now. This is what I'm no longer available for. This is how I will be treated in my love relationships. This is how I will show up in business. This is the kind of client that I want to work with. This is the kind of partner that I want for myself. Like getting clear on those things. That's the work that we do together at my retreat. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can reach out to me, send me a message, or you can email me, julie@𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞.com. And if you enjoyed this episode and you feel like you have a friend who needs to hear this, maybe she's been through a bunch of like failed relationships, and no relationships are failures. They all teach us something. But someone who's been through a bunch of relationships, someone who, feels like they overgive in their business and they're tired, they're exhausted, they overwork, share this video with them. Let them know that there is support for them, that they're not alone in this, that there's nothing wrong with them. It's just something within themselves that needs to be aware. They need to be aware of. We can't heal what we're not aware of. So that's my job, is to help shine a light on it. And also, if you are currently in a relationship with someone who's an addict and you're trying to get them to see the light, save yourself, and let yourself be free from it. Know that it's bigger. This mission is bigger than what you can do. Allow God to step into this person's life and to surrender yourself, and to know that there is hope on the other side of getting out of a relationship. If you're married, if you've been with a person for a long time. I was with my partner for 22 years, and I've been single for 3 years now, and I've had a series of relationships, many of them that were also not healthy, not good. And now I have so much more data. I have so much more wisdom around what it means to love and be loved. And I'm so good at spotting those red flags really quickly and not wasting anybody's time. And bam, bam, I know I'm out. Like, it happens really quickly. And I take the lessons as I'm served them and I move on. So I also want to be that voice to let you know that there is hope on the other side. In fact, my book here, it's on the side. There it is. It's backwards on my screen. Free to Fly, Manifest the Life of Your Dreams, is my story of what happened after I freed myself from my marriage. And I also freed myself about what anybody thinks about me for calling myself a medium, for sharing my messages, for, whatever, claiming that I know Jesus, like whatever people criticize me for or judge me for, doesn't matter. And I now see how I've also judged addicts specifically, and how I no longer will, because I have a different perspective, understanding, and realization around what it's really about. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. Make sure to like this video, comment below if it resonated for you, and share it with any friends who might need to hear it. If you want to know more about our retreat, reach out to me. The next one is in April, and then we're having another one in July, another one in October. We're doing them once per quarter. So no shortage of abundance retreats. There's an abundance of abundance retreats. So you want more money, more love, more freedom, to free yourself from any kind of codependency or any kind of feeling that you need to take care of everybody else and not yourself. Check out our retreat. All right, everyone, have a great one. Thanks for being here. Bye.